Okay, so next step, if we go to shaded, we can see that our curtain wall system does not have any mullions. So I want to explain a couple of more ingredients that allows us to work with this in a better way. So I'm going to actually select by pressing tab the curtain wall, and I'm going to right click. Actually, I'm going to go here to the glasses and say isolate element. Okay, so we can actually work with this alone. So curtain walls, there's a couple of options under architecture, curtain systems. We have curtain grid and mullions. If we select curtain grid, as you can see, it allows you to place grid lines or segments both vertically if you step on top or bottom of each of the walls, or horizontally if you step in the side. So you can start designing your own curtain wall system. You can also snap to different parts, but you can also say I want to declare segments between different grids, as you can see. So you can be a bit more original about how your curtain grids happen. Okay. You can also say accept picked, so you can pick one and do the the ones, and you can actually be quite flexible about how you want to declare your curtain grids. Again, going to curtain grid, you go either to the horizontal part or the vertical, and you start just placing curtain grids freely. Another way of doing this is just selecting the wall themselves and generating, as we have done other times, a vertical grid layout and horizontal grid layout, and say I wanted to have an equal number fixed ingredients. But for that, probably you want to duplicate, because that would be talking entirely about a type. So if you go edit type and duplicate, and you call it curtain wall, like let's go numerical or something like that. You can make this curtain wall the new type, and make here, for example, that you want a vertical grid to be a fixed number or a fixed distance, as we did before, and place what type of mullions do you want. So for example, for the interior type, the border type, they could be different. The interior is probably this grids and this, and the border type will be this ones. No? So normally the border types are a little bit thicker than the interior one. So the interior is going to be like a 1-inch square. The border type could be like around 5 by 5, for example. And in the interior type, you could have, again, for the horizontal ones, a 1 and a 5 by 5. No? You say OK, automatically you get all your mullions. The interior ones is 1 by 1, and the exterior ones are 5 by 5, so they're much thicker. No? You can obviously select the type again and edit it and change the number to be distance, for example, and change the distance to be, I don't know, like 4 or 5 or 6, whatever you think. So you can have different distance for horizontal compared to, as you can see, to vertical. So you can change that quite easily. Let's say vertical every 5, let's say every 10 feet. And for example, the horizontal, let's say, I don't know, every 10. Okay, good. So as you can see, you can have different types. Now, when we were inserting grids, we were not placing mullions. This is totally flat. So to place mullions is as simple as selecting mullions here, and you can just select all grid lines and click on an entire curtain wall, and you get the grid line. So you can go grid by grid, just selecting each grid and change the mullion type. So again, just 2 ways of doing it. So it's very flexible how you could place your mullions into your curtain walls. Okay. Another thing, if we go to shaded mode, is that all the panels are made in glass. So what if I want a panel that is slightly different? No? So remember that you can tab and select the panels independently if you tap a couple times, and it tells you the panel type. you can expand this and see what other panel types you have. You have the glass wall. This we saw actually quite earlier. We have the empty, if you don't want any panel, that could be an option. And we have a glaze and a solid. So if I type solid, automatically comes with a default material that is gray. Could be the material that you want, but what if I want a specific material that you're interested in? So you can again tap to select one of the panels, and here's where you edit the type, duplicate, and you can call it solid yellow or aluminium if you have, if you know the material that you're going to deal with. Okay, and here on the material, you change it from glass to, for example, aluminium. You go select that, you say OK, and now this panel has an aluminium panel inside. I'm going to do my own material, so I'm going to again tap until I select the panel. I'm going to edit the type, I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to call it solid, I don't know, like a yellow color. And in the materials, we haven't talked much about materials, but you can search for many materials as you want, or the ones you can find here in the list, or you can just say new material. You can rename it, right click, rename, and call it, I don't know, panel yellow, for example. Here is. And on the panel yellow, you can change your qualities, basically how the material is. You can say I want a yellow color there, and you could have a pattern if you wanted. I don't know, like not the earth one, probably doesn't make sense. Like an insulation grid or something. So that will be shown as a pattern, meaning when it's high, hidden line, you will see that pattern. Okay, and by the way, if you cut it, you will see a different pattern if you want it. You can allocate it here. Say OK, and there it is. So again, you do see the pattern a little bit. I don't know if you can see it in the screen, but if you go to hidden line, you only see the pattern, which is, I think, very nice. Good. Can I change the grids where they are? So if you tap on top of a mullion, which is the first thing that you normally locate, you can tap and select the grid line, and as we did a long time ago, you can uncheck the linking option and move it freely. Okay. So let me go back to see everything. If I reset the views, there should be actually a couple doors here going from the mezzanine to this space, and also from under the mezzanine or the entrance floor to the entry element of the building. So it would be as simple as, tabbing and selecting that panel, and instead of placing a glaze or a solid or the new ones I created, you can download from Blackboard the curtain wall double glass, or actually it's not in Blackboard, it's directly in Revit already. You can load it into the project and just change any panel for a door. Okay, but here's the moment where you have to realize if this is the proper height. So I can select this, unclick, and change this number to be whatever is optimal as a height of a door. Could be a little bit higher if you want it, like, I don't know, this is a main door, but you can decide as you wish. The same is obviously this grid. We can pick it further up to make it also 10 from the next line, and again, oh, that's why we probably need another grid here, and place a couple more doors there so we can transition between the mezzanine to this space. Okay, something I haven't seen much is, you see how these two walls here, we have the wall of the stair that is cylindrical and the semi-cylindrical space underneath. You can actually select the walls and join. If you use this tool, join geometry, this allows you to connect different parts by selecting them one and one, and you see how they get connected. There's no seal. What it does is basically visibly connecting the two elements, but they're still separated entirely. So that's normally nice when you have several elements, one on top of another, one wall on top of another, and you don't want to see that seal. That would be the way to do that. Okay. So you can play around with some of the panels. You can have a big panel here in a yellow material if you want. And just play a little with the composition of how that would be. Okay. Okay, let's go to a little bit of this facade here. This is going to be a new wall that's going to have pretty much a finished wall made in. Let me make this a bit bigger. Stainless steel facade, 2 inches and 3 inches of thermal air. So let's do it. I'm going to actually go to the first floor. It's going to be here. I'm going to make sure I see the floor above. So I'm going to go to the second floor. Just remember that all the underlays should be turned off. Okay, that's the gray line that we're going to put a wall at. So I'm going to say wall. I'm going to start with CMU, brick on CMU wall, but I'm going to duplicate as we always do, and we're going to call it metal on CMU. Okay, I'm going to say okay, edit, preview. Let's check the section and zoom in, and let's just change the last layer to be stainless steel. So steel, metal. This is polished if you want, and you can even duplicate one of these and place a pattern. For now, I'm just going to duplicate this one directly. I'm just going to say, give me a diagonal crosshatch or something. Say okay, and this could be a little bit thinner, like 2 inches. Okay, and now allows us to place this new wall into scene. No? So we're going to say finish face interior, snap here, close there. Okay, I'm going to select it now and make sure that it goes properly from the first floor to the third floor. Apply. Okay, I'm going to do another wall, so I can select the wall, right click, create similar, paste spacebar to go to the other side, and finish that one as well. Okay, I'm going to go to the 3D view. These ones, they're finishing exactly on the roof, so I'm going to just select it and do a top offset of 3 feet for the top of parapet. For this, you will normally actually declare a new level, and you would just snap it to that level. But I think sometimes offsetting directly, it's also a valuable option. So you snap that, and also the bottom constraint is going to be here. Actually, second floor. So we have a curtain wall there. So we're going to go to the first floor now and place the curtain wall. It's basically this type of curtain wall. Right click, create similar, and finish it. It's telling me that it's overlapping. Because we're going to the third floor, we should go to the second floor. Let me do a section of this so we start seeing what we're really achieving here. So section, which could be another section that you could be interested in generating. Let's go to find view. This is trying to get actually some mullions here and there, so that would be something to change afterwards as a mullion. But in general, it's looking good. Let me actually change that curtain wall to be the curtain wall 1. There we go. I delete that one. This one too. Okay. Last we're going to put a couple windows there, but if we want to place, again, we can go to the curtain grid and place a couple grids, like center and to different distance. same distance, and then a horizontal one at 10. And here's where you can again select mullions, say all grids, select grids. So there you have your mullions. I'm going to place a couple of specific, more special doors here. If you go to Blackboard, you have under center building this revolving door. So you can load that one by just simply opening that door that it's right here in my case in the here is, so we can see how it looks. And remember that any family that you open, it shows you as if it was another like Revit file, so you can just load it into the project. It's not going to do anything because it's similar to the glazed door of a curtain wall, so you actually need to select a panel. So I'm going to tab until I select the panel, and I'm going to select the revolving door, so it attaches that revolving door family entirely to the glass panel. Okay, I'll stop it there.